Top 20.
Right.
A lot of good goals in here, guys. A lot of good goals. Let's start with number 20. Let's throw this one to you, Cam.
Yeah, right. So I'm going to get a weird one in there somewhere. Not an important game particularly, although every international is important. Scotland versus Nigeria, 2014, I think, just there. And most people will not remember this unless you're a big Scotland fan. And it's Charlie Mulgrew scores a goal. This is the one you weren't convinced about. No, and this is a real kind of someone who likes the weirdness and the unusualness. And it's late in the game, and I think the ball smashed in towards him. And he's away for the goal. The goal's over there about 20 yards away. And he does this flick with his left foot. And I've just about knocked the table over. Flick with his left foot. And it goes way over the top and in the back corner. And your first thought is, fluke.
I wasn't convinced he meant it.
Right, so I'm saying, see if Maradona does that. See if Messi does that, you're going, that is one of the great goals of all time. I honestly do think you think that. But because it's Charlie Mulgrew, you're going, oh, that's a fluke. I just think it's an absolutely brilliant goal. And
Alan, for bonus points, what stadium was that goal scored?
Craven Cottage.
Very well done.
Yeah, 2-2 draw. A shot from James Morrison that was sort of heading towards the corner flag, I think.
Absolutely, it wasn't getting in.
Until Mulgrew stuck out his left foot, I think it was. So,
I think if it was his right foot, I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's deliberate. It's his left foot.
Yeah. Flukes can look wonderful, Alan. That's the thing. Sometimes that's what makes a goal fantastic, is the sheer audacity and chancery of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, he's certainly diverting it towards goal. But the way it's done is aesthetically beautiful and it's imaginative. And have you ever seen a goal like it?
No, I haven't. Now I think about it. But,
never seen a goal like it.
What's the? You talked about your sort of left field musical interest. What's the equivalent? What band is this the equivalent?
Oh, that's a good. I'm giving this. I'm giving this a Bell and Sebastian. Actually, it's artistic. It's not as well known as it should be. It's very Scottish as well.
Yeah, and also Scotland not wearing quite slightly.
The Fay strip. Yep.
Fay away strip.
It's perfect. It could have been Stuart Murdoch, it could have been scoring that goal. And by the way, the new song by the Bell and Sebastian about the World Cup is a cracker. We should play that.
Yeah, we should definitely.
Okay, Mulgrew is into the top 20.
Yeah.
Who joins him at 19?
Well, this is one that Pat, you referenced in the first part of the conversation, Gordon Strachan. And again, Strachan, there was a couple, 3 or 4 possibilities. Gordon Strachan obviously scored a very memorable goal in the World Cup against West Germany, which is memorable for the finish and as well as the celebration, the attempted celebration where he's trying to lift his leg over an advertising hoarding. But this is possibly, if this game is remembered against Romania in 1986, if it's remembered because Kenny Dalglish won his 100th cap.
Really?
Yeah, in this game.
I thought it'd be remembered from my first cap. Didn't know that, did you?
Touche. Right. Well, yes.
Well, I was on the bench at this point in time. In Strack.
Best seat in the house.
It was beautiful because I love a dink, I love a chip, I love a scoop, all of those things. But the ones that are done when you can see that he's figured it all out, it's effortless, it's classy, it's cheeky, it's a perfect description of the man. It absolutely is. It's an absolutely beautiful goal, and it's one of those ones where, there's nothing you can make it look better, because the keeper's done everything, given it the whole look and everything. There's something beautifully pleasing when you pull one of them off, and to do it for Scotland international, it was a great game. And the other person who was in the crowd that day, someone quite famous.
Well, I think I know. I think I know.
Go. I'll give you it.
Franz Beckenbauer.
Correct.
And his long brown leather mac, which always sticks in them.
And you know why it sticks in mind? Because we don't really want to say, Germans wearing leather coats. Anyway, there you go.
Yes.
But it was a great goal.
He was there. He was there because he was presenting Kenny Dalglish with a souvenir for the 100th cap, and
still the record to this day. The 102, did he get to?
He got 102. Yeah.
I was just delighted because he's somebody whose picture I'd have had on my wall as a kid, and here I am at Hampden playing in the same team as him.
Yeah. And it's an iconic moment for him.
And it's fabulous. It really, the big thing is we all wanted to get Kenny a goal. So every time you get the ball and you come on, you think, get Kenny, he's trying to give him a goal, because he gets another goal, he beats Dennis Law.
Yeah, sure.
And he never did get that other goal, did he?
Yeah, it's funny. So that happens in professional football even. You do this, you try and set your team up.
Only against the likes of Luxembourg, and you can't really do it against the other ones, because I played in the next game after that, and we just, every one of us, once the game was won, all we tried to do was get Kenny on the ball in the box.
That was his last cap, wasn't it? Against Luxembourg.
Yeah, and we kind of knew it would be, so we just done everything to get it, and we just couldn't get him the goal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was. Particularly.
Great shot.
I did like that one. And so, where are we? 18. Number 18.
This goal's a little older than the one.
Yeah, it's one of the older ones. One for the oldies.
Thanks.
Peter Lorimer, the Zaire 1974 at the World Cup in Germany, and always nice to include a goal which has been scored on the greatest stage of all, and. Particularly someone like Peter Lorimer, who can hit a ball, it's fair to say.
That was his fame. More than anything else, he could strike the ball harder than anyone else, which, weird for a right footer. The lefties are usually the ones that hit it much, much sweeter and cleaner. But I was delighted that we've considered, we agree completely that this one should be in World Cup, but it's a volley. So you need the power, but you need to make sure you keep it down as well. Quite iconic because, we're on the world stage. The world's watching. It's only against Zaire, but we've still got to do it, we've still got to win. And it was for my age, I'm old enough to remember. I'm guessing you're not.
No.
I remember watching 70 as a very young kid. But it was a real moment of, right, okay, we're going to win this. This is okay, because if we blew it against Zaire, it would have been a disaster.
In retrospect, we could have done with a few more of.
Even at the time we knew that. Even at the time we knew that.
Yeah.
But they were still, as I remember, they were still fighting. They were still, but by that, after that, they were out. So they kind of chucked it. So, but it's a great goal, and it's great that another iconic player scores his type of goal.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Number 18, number 17.
Number 17. Well, we've already spoken about overhead kicks, and this is another one. Not the one, possibly. But anyway, 17. Mo Johnston against Cyprus.
Good old Cyprus here.
1989.
Yeah.
I know.
They get a few mentions.
Well, it's great having Pat here, because Pat can talk very knowledgeably about it. Given that he was, you were part of you were involved, not quite the assist, but...
Not exactly an assist, no. We were basically hammering them, we were basically getting the ball wide. We knew we were decent in the air. Wemo was brilliant in the air as well. Wemo wasn't that wee. Anyway, so I pinged it across and came back out, pinged it to the back post, because I think it was Goffey.
Yeah.
He was coming in at the back post. Richard was phenomenal in the air, so he won it, but he headed it back, and there's a kind of... The ball bounces up in the air, and you think there's no chance. It's gone behind Maurice Johnson, but he caught it beautifully with an overhead kick. And I'd known Maurice since I was 10. We played schoolboy football together. We'd represented Glasgow schools together and things like that, so we knew each other. And didn't particularly get on very well at that time. That was fine later when we played for Everton together. But it comes down to him, and again, it's the imagination. He catches it clean. And it was a real moment, because we had a lot of good strikers at that time. There really was a lot of them. There was Charlie, there was McAvenny, Chalky was coming in there as well. There was the whole list of them. But there was a wee moment where Mo Coisty as well. But there's a wee moment where Mo was pretty special. Effort, work rate, pure talent, and that goal was an absolute beaut.
Yeah, a real sort of audacity, which kind of summed up Mo Johnson. You talk about that goal summing up Gordon Strachan, that overhead kick just was,
it summed him up. You get a bit gallus, I want to show off, and by the way, I'll be in a nightclub tonight and I'll be telling them all about it. He knew that's what Mo would be doing.
Good. That's the same in there.
Yeah. Number 16. 16. Pat, do you want to...
Right, I love this one.
Yeah.
It's much more modern, which I'm delighted about. And another, this time a good friend and a colleague, Lee McCulloch against Ukraine. And big jig, as we only ever knew him. He scores this goal. Now, it's a cracker of a finish, right? So, but the reason being, it's a bit like the John Collins one I'd mentioned before when we were chatting beforehand. It's the work of the free kick beforehand. So the memory is the ball comes to jig he's out on the left-hand side, he's got his right foot and he curls it into the top corner. Great, absolutely good. It's up there. We've got about 20 of them. But the build-up is brilliant because the entire team moves across and the defence goes, oh, what's going on here? And they all run with him. The Jig does a loop out and he's on his own. So to get that to happen is no fluke. This is planned, this is work, this is on the training ground. Somebody's had to think, this is what we're going to do, who's going to be the right guy on it, the delivery has to be right to get Jig on it, and then he has to put it in the top corner from 20 yards. The whole thing, there is something lovely about, when you work in something, but you also need the brilliance as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a cracker.
Yeah.
Was that a World Cup qualifier? Was that
European Championship qualifier, if you remember? It was a real period in Scotland where and somehow we failed to qualify, but it was obviously that campaign when they beat France twice.
That team was probably the one that was closest to getting us to ending that long wait for a tournament.
And that's the sadness of it, because there is that long period where, we qualified for everything up till 98, we're just generally qualified, right? And then there's that big, massive, gigantic period before Clarkey comes in. And then you think, it's kind of like it's been brushed aside now. And there was a lot of good players there. I mean, a young lad called McFadden, might get a mention later. He played in that whole period and never got to play in a major tournament. And he's been one of our great players in history.
One of our great goal scorers.
Yes, stunning. Can I be honest, we're not going into too much detail now. Fardy could have been in here 5 times. He absolutely could have been.
Which is extraordinary, really, as you say, because it's not a period of sustained Scotland success, yet McFadden was
we'll squeeze him in.
a shining light.
Well, Lee McCullough's a deserving selection there.
Yeah. Number 15 we're up to. This was possibly my choice, maybe. Charlie Nicholas against Switzerland, European Championship qualifier, 1983. I remember this very, very, very well indeed. Scotland came back from 2-0 down. Charlie Nicholas was, fair to say, Charlie was the man at the time.
Oh, yes.
In 83, Pat, and the coming man of Scottish football. I think we all thought he would be the answer to Scotland's. He would be the successor to Ken Dalglish, and he certainly a touch of arrogance, I think, that was described by the commentators. It might have been Jock Brown or whoever was commentating that night. He flicked it up with his right foot, and then with his left foot just lobbed it over the keeper into those deep Hampden nets again, which definitely helped the aesthetic quality. And I just thought it had to be there. Yeah. Charlie.
No, I'll grant you that.
Charlie.
I'll grant you that. He was still, I think, just at Celtic at the time. Before he signed for Arsenal at that point in time. But it was the cheek and the imagination again. I mean, I love goals with imagination, goals that very few other players would have considered doing it in that way. And the normal thing to do, the normal thing there is to flick it up and do it with the same foot.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's challenges all around. Probably the only thing the way he can score a goal is by what he does. And it's the imagination, And when Charlie was, you talk about salad days, these were Gallus days. We had a few Gallus players, and Charlie being absolutely one of them.
Yeah. And you played alongside him early in the Celtic?
Yeah, well, he's a couple of years older than me. He was a couple of years ahead of me, but we was almost style opposites. He was kind of the rolled up sleeves with the kind of, you used to call them posers, but the girls and the fancy nightclubs, and I'd be going to see The Fall or something like that. So we're very, very opposite, but always massively admired. And he's such partner with the team because he didn't lack confidence. You probably know that from day one. He never lacked any confidence, and that showed in his play.
We talk about the Gallus days. We look at this Scotland crop. Is that something that we maybe lack, or do you think that team's got a bit of Gallus about it?
There's an upside and a downside of Gallus. The upside is it's great, you try weird things, you try different things, you're individuals, right? To actually be really successful, you really need the team spirit and the group spirit.
That trumps it then for you.
And it probably does trump, well, just my personality, I would prefer a team. And you can still do those amazing things without being Gallus about it. I mean, is John McGinn Gallus? No. Scott? No. None of them are. But you can still do these special things. And also the game's gone away where I don't think you can live the same way away from the game as was in those times. It didn't take away from the fact that they were special players and special times. And, you know, as it was in the 80s, as it was then, you know, you try and live history differently by the way you see it from just now. Well, it wasn't like that then. They were going to, Charlie was getting pictured with page 3 girls as it was then, which is unimaginable now.
Yeah, I didn't realise, Pat, till you mentioned that. It was interesting that you and he hit the bright lights of London in the same week.
Exactly.
You signed for Chelsea, he signed for Arsenal.
Yeah, and that sounds as if me and Charlie go down. He was I can't remember how much he was bought for, was it?
Yeah, well, decent sum.
Anyway, I was 95 grand, trust me, it was a lot less. I was coming for Clyde, and he was, and Arsenal were top division, Chelsea were the division below, but by the next season we were both in the same division. And I still have this lovely memory that we went up the next year, and Charlie scored against us at Stamford Bridge, and I was absolutely furious. I was absolutely furious. Fortunately, I got a penalty and then scored the winner with a diving header.
Brought one of the headers, aforementioned headers.
Is number 14 your header?
Talking of headers.
Yeah.
Talking of headers, this was a slight, point of contention, possibly, Pat. We thought one of these sort of iconic headers, really. I suppose these are the definition of them. Gordon McQueen against England in the win at Wembley in 1977. And Richard Gough, another win over England, 1985 in the Rouse Cup, if you remember that. And Richard Gough goal I remember very clearly. Gordon McQueen, slightly before my time, but again an iconic header which I've watched many times since. And Pat.
It's amazing. Both of them are brilliant, right? Both of them talk to the bravery that you need, and we can't ignore the fact that Big Gordon, and the troubles he's had, and the suggestion that heading might have been part of the problems that came from that. We can't ignore that for a second, and we'll not ignore that. But it was such a massive part of both of their games. There's the iconic moment when Big Gordon goes up, and he gets so high, and it's frozen in my mind. And I think great goals, I've almost got a moment where they're frozen. You think, that's the moment. Well, he gets up and his leg is really high up and his body, and he's at this odd angle. He's almost sideways when he's doing it. And it's a really odd angle to do it, but he's just so totally and utterly committed, not just to the goal, but to Scotland, to beat England. And that is gigantic. And of course, you can say the same for Goughy.
Yeah.
And Goughy, I would argue, is one of the... We did have some world-class players. He was one of them. Yeah. He was absolutely one of them. I was playing against him at a time at various points and thinking, is there many better in the world than you? And what you do? I don't think there is.
No, I agree.
He was
with
a
that.
fabulous player.
I agree with that. He was at Dundee United at the time that he scored this goal in '85, and just a terrific player. Either full back, right back, or centre half. He could do everything, couldn't he?
Absolutely. Good at attacking, as we said, the ball as well. And fighting spirit was great. The McQueen puts the head in it. He certainly did that, didn't he? That's the commentator said that when the Asa Hartford free kick came in, and then for Gough started to move, pushed it out left to Jim Bett. Jim Bett, lovely little sort of dinked crossover, and Gough just continued his run into the box, edge of the 6-yard box, and just sort of looped a header over Peter Shilton. It was, so again, and very aesthetically pleasing, because that was very clean, that goal, wasn't it?
It was kind of looped over.
So which one though? You can't put them both in.
Can we not?
You can't split it. Topper Pops didn't split the.
I think they could be equal 14th.
Can we equal
oddly
14th? Are we allowed to do that?
Well, look, it's your ball.
If we had to, Pat, what would you say?
I would go for Gordon, and you would go for Richard.
I'd go for Richard, but I think that probably reflects.
That sums it up.
I'm not going to be the tiebreaker here. I'll sit on the fence and I'll let you have a half and half.
Right, okay.
You've only got one wild card. You've now played it.
Yes.
Number 13. I want a clean answer here.
A clean answer, a clean hit. It was a clean hit, certainly. Yeah. I remember this because I was in the way end at the Holt end at Villa Park as a fan, so I can still remember the ball. zooming towards me into the top corner, and I think I can almost remember the sound of it hitting the net. It's one of those.
I'm disappointed, gents, that you have this at 13. I would have had this
you would
higher.
okay. Well,
That's because of my generation, my memories.
Yeah, Ali McCoist against Switzerland during Euro '96 at Villa Park, and Scotland's third game, must-win game, of course. And McCoist had missed a couple prior to this chance. That if you were looking back at the highlights, I do remember he had a couple of half chances, which normally Alan McCoist would have easily, you'd expect him to have put away. But this one, you would not necessarily expect him to have fired into the top corner, but he did. He nodded it to Gary McAllister and got it back from McAllister, and then just one of these clean strikes into the top corner.
Is that the last winning goal that Scotland have scored at major finals?
It is.
Ooh.
It was.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Consider
Something
that.
to think about, isn't it?
96.
And that's where I wonder, you put it at 13, but when I talk about greatest goals, that goal won a game at a major tournament. Does that give it more merit?
Did we not go out?
On goal difference.
I'll give you the perfect example of that. Is how players think of it, right? Euro 92, and we beat the CIS, Russia, 3-0, right? And at the end of the game, we're walking off, and I'm walking beside Gary McAllister. And Andy Roxburgh and Craig Brown are going, go on, celebrate with the fans. You've just won. No, we haven't. We're out. We can't see that. We can't see it as a win. Whereas we were wrong. I underline, Gary Mack and I were wrong because the fans had come, they got behind us. We'd won a game of football, we'd shown the world that we could play. Yeah. We put Scotland on the map of we'd beaten this massive country, right? And I remember thinking, what are you talking about? We're out. And it's a bit of that, maybe that's why I've left it high, at 13. Because there's a bit in there that, it's a cracker goal, but in the end, was it important? Yeah, it was important, Now that you say it, absolutely, But see, as a player, you're walking off, you're thinking, nah.
So, McCoist, much to my chagrin, sits at 13. Tell me one that's better than gents number 12.
Just.
Pat, do you want to
well, again, back to an era when I was watching football growing up when I was young. I was about 10 years of age. And there were some spectacular nights at Hampden Park and some spectacular times where we were trying to get to the World Cup in '74. And Joe Jordan at the time, massive player for Leeds and Manchester United as well, but he was so fabulous in the air. But sometimes just something just comes together. It feels like clockwork, the way everyone moves, and you know that he's got the run in everyone, and he gets the header in. You can't talk about it without doing it.
Goals scored against
Czechoslovakia.
It got Scotland to the World Cup in '74. Again,
importance of the goal.
Importance of the goal has to be underlined. And again, there was two Joe Jordan goals against Czechoslovakia that
both very good.
Both very good. The other one in '77, we had to sort of, why this one over the other one? They're quite similar, I suppose. They were quite similar. This one was, I think, a Willie Morgan cross from the right, and Jordan just did what Joe Jordan does, and as you say.
And you can't help doing it, and you're watching it, you're doing it with them, kind of thing. But I think we can. What I didn't want to happen during this was iconic goals that many people will remember, and there's some that are fading a little bit. Yeah. And at the time, it was gigantic. It was absolutely amazing for this country.
Of a goal that.
Importance,
because we needed to get to the World Cup, and we got there.
Absolutely, and watching it again and again, and it's just that the roar, you really do get the feel of that roar, that pent-up emotion, the Hampden roar, of course, as Scotland on the brink of qualifying for a World Cup after being absent from the great stage for so long, 16 years. So very similar sort of circumstances almost to the Scotland v Denmark game in November. Just that.
It was a build. You're right. It was a build-up of emotion. I remember going to school the next day. That's all anyone did. Throwing the ball at each other, giving it back. That's all everyone did.
Okay. Number 11.
Another header. Number 11. Ken Dalglish against Wales in another pivotal game in a World Cup campaign, this was to get Scotland to Argentina in 1978, had to beat Wales at Anfield, of all places. Game had been switched to Anfield.
It's in 77.
1977, sorry, yeah. Game was switched to Anfield because of security concerns. Wales couldn't host it in Cardiff, so they thought it'd be quite a good ruse to play it in nearby Liverpool, and that way it'll feel like a home game. But of course, the Tartan Army, being the Tartan Army,
of course, the Kop's behind it.
Yeah.
And the Kop in those days, if you scored, everyone moved forward, didn't it? Yeah. And what the Tartan Army is important here. They've not got a mention yet.
Yeah.
But they're a vital part of every goal.
Yeah.
You know, the most important goals that's a very good goal. It's a very good header. It's a technically interesting header. It's crossed from the right-hand side. Kenny comes in.
Buck and cross.
And he kind of flicked off him like that.
Yeah.
But he knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
Yeah, Dalglish hangs in the air, doesn't he?
And he kind of knows that area quite well. Kenny gets to know that quite well. But you look at, he's not there. Is he at Liverpool by this point?
He just joined. I joined that summer to replace Kevin Keegan, of course. And it's one of those first goals he scored at Anfield. I mean, he scored 3 or 4, but prior, but obviously for Liverpool. So it's interesting that he wasn't fully, ingrained in Liverpool at that point. And I think it's his fourth goal he'd scored at Anfield. So interesting one. It wasn't actually the Kop end. It was at the other end.
Was it the other end?
Yeah, it was at the.
Mind play strikes.
Yeah, it does. It can. But so yeah.
Camera's changed over the side, that's why.
Yeah,
but the lovely thing is oddly, you always look what's behind as well.
Yeah,
when you score a goal, if you're a fan, you look what's going on behind, and it's a wall.
Yeah, totally.
A wall of humanity behind, and because it's Anfield, it's really close. And again, that noise. Sometimes it comes through, sometimes it doesn't come through with footage.
Yeah.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel the importance of it.
No, absolutely. Is it the Kremlin Road end? What's the opposite end of the Kop? Kremlin Road.
Evertonian.
I know.
Well, we've nailed 20 to 11. We'll take a short break, and then let's do the top 10.
We're always going to get one who can build himself in the mush.
What's that? Handball?
You do realise that's making the cut. It's definitely making the cut. How's your nose?